Hello and welcome to the March edition of What's Up Stratford via Zoom. Joining me and starting the show in a virtual world, Pat McKinna from the Kiwanis Festival. Thank you, Pat, for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Peter. It's a pleasure.
Now, this has been going on since 1927. So tell us what the new version of the festival is.
Well, this year is unprecedented. It's a hybrid this year. We're offering both live, the traditional format, and online. And we have to marry things like giving out trophies because people who entered virtually last year were eligible for trophies. And so both categories are eligible for that this year. And both categories are eligible to go to the provincials.
And generally, how many candidates or entries do you get typically annually?
Well, that's been interesting to track because of the pandemic. In the last normal year, 2019, there were something like 900, but that was full force school entries as well. In 2020, which is when I started, there was a teacher strike. So we knew even when it was going to be normal that we wouldn't have choirs and bands and groups. And then in the pandemic, of course, it's whoever could figure out how to do it virtually. So we had about a third of that in our first virtual year, and last year about the same. And this year we're holding at about a third of the normal numbers for live. And everybody who wants to enter virtually will enter on the last day, which is March 27th. I hope they'll give us a few more days before March 27th, but you have until then to enter virtually.
Pat, what is the OMFA?
That's the Ontario Music Festivals Association. Our festival belongs to the provincial organization. You have to belong to it in order for our participants to go to a provincial competition, which has happened annually in June. And it used to be that we could only send candidates who are in grade 6 and up. And over the pandemic, that changed. And I don't know how many people know that. We can now send candidates from every learning level, from grade 1 up to open, which means a whole lot more participants have a chance. And we can send 3 per category now, not 2. And the OMFA is also doing a hybrid competition this year. So grades 1 to 5 will be virtual and grades 6 and up will be in person.
Tell us, next month you have your Family Treasures. I think it's your big fundraiser. So what's that about?
This festival has a tradition of having one fundraising concert a year. And this year we are again celebrating family, but we are going to offer it in the format of a hybrid concert. So there will be both live performances integrated with a lot of virtual ones on the screen. And we've got a wonderful lineup of people who have found all kinds of interesting ways to celebrate family. Shall I give you some highlights?
Why don't you give us a couple?
Well, one of the background stories is James Westman, who is an alumnus of this festival and who is now a celebrated baritone in the opera world internationally. He is actually going to adjudicate for us this year. He's going to do classical voice. He's also agreed to participate in the concert, but he has a run of Rigoletto to do in Texas the week before. So we're going to have like a Santa Claus NORAD tracker on James because he travels back to Stratford the day of the concert on April the 2nd. And we hope he gets there in time to sing one song. And we're going to celebrate a couple of our young Kiwanis Festival Audience Favorite Award winners, which is a new category for us. And one of our young acts is going to perform one piano, 4 hands polkas. And we're going to let them actually invite the audience to polka while they play. We have to be careful about how many people and where they polka, but I thought that was an interesting demonstration for our young pianists of what a polka was actually meant to be. You're going to play and some people are going to dance for it.
That's awesome. Let's do a different thing. In May, you're going to the Tom Patterson Theater. What's going on there?
That was a very pleasant surprise for me because I was not here when the Tom Patterson project was negotiated with the city. The Kiwanis Club gets access to the Tom Patterson on a very limited basis. And this year, they are going to give us a couple of days at the very end of April to conduct whatever activities there we want to do. Now, we're not in the main space. We haven't earned the right to be in the major theater. We're going to use Lazaridis Hall, which is the cabaret space that looks at the river. And I'm actually juggling a couple of workshops we're going to offer. We're calling them a Discovery Weekend, and you can learn how to freestyle rap, and you can learn how to be an accompanist, and you can polish your triple threat skills. But I think it would also be lovely to give our young performers a chance to actually play there. So we're going to hold some of the finals there as well.
Perfect. Pat, if people want to get more information, is the best place. Your website is what?
Absolutely. www.kiwanisfestivalstratford.com. You can also find it if you do www.kiwanisfestivalstratford.ca, but our official one is .com.
Perfect. Pat, thank you very much for joining me, and thank you for the legacy in this community and the doggies you have in the background.
I'm sorry about the background noise. Thanks for having me, Peter.
Coming up next is John Kastner from the Ontario Hockey Federation.